Who's up?
Coach Hagan was saying that he sees, there's some questions up front. He sees these guys playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Do you sense that too? Is that something you guys talk to them about, or is that just something that kind of comes naturally to them?
We do. We as one of our key components, about having that edge, that chip on your shoulder is what we want. And with that group, we've seen them really kind of band together. We've kind of just tried to make them realize that it's going to have to be a group effort. They're going to have to play well together. And that's kind of how they've been practicing. Different guys step up different days. Different guys have shown the ability to make plays at those key times. And to me, they're going to have to be a great unit that relies on one another. We have a group of guys that are buying into playing with fanatical effort. And Coach Hagan's doing a tremendous job of getting their technique right, getting their get off right, and getting their hand placement, their feet, and all those little things that matter. But the effort piece is the one variable that they completely control. And I've been really, really encouraged by their buy-in and the chip that they're playing with in practice. It's very evident.
How's a guy like Leon Thornton, who played receiver last year, moved to corner late in the year, and now is at safety? How is he adjusting to that move?
I think the recent move to safety has been a real good one for him. I think he's a big kid. He's 200 pounds and he's over 6 foot tall, and he goes from being a guy that, as a safety, he's a really good cover guy, for us, and he's physical. So we just need some depth there at that position, and got some other guys that are dinged up. So really, really, really pleased actually today. Yesterday he got some good reps, and today he got some more reps, and that's what's going to take. Guys like that he has great ball skills, being a receiver. He just wants to get on the field. So I'm really, really encouraged by his ability to step up and fill a void there.
Another guy kind of moving around is Jake Robinson, moving inside on the line. How has he been doing? And just
good. I think you'd like to be able to solidify him a little bit in one or the other, but I think his skill set is such to where he's going to have to, at the end of the day, do both. And it's going to be situational as well. He's a big end and a little bit undersized 3 technique, but he's so athletic and he plays so hard. I've been once again, he's another guy that is completely bought in. I mean, he's just everything you ask him to do. It's yes, sir, and he's 100 miles an hour. So very versatile would be the way I would describe him, and you need guys like that, both as a player and then as a person. He's a tremendous leader for us.
People talked about Marcelino Ball. Any other newcomers that are, coming on for you a bit or surfacing a bit for you?
Yeah, Khalil Bryant is the one that I would say, as a newcomer in his freshman class, that through some other guys getting dinged up a little bit, he's had to get more reps, but he showed up in the scrimmage making plays, and he's physical. He loves to hit. He's a really good tackler. And so I think right now he's probably gotten information overload a little bit, but it really is one of those guys that's been a real pleasant surprise. Marcelino, as you see, is a guy that's making plays and plays extremely hard and is very physical. So those are 2 guys in the secondary that we're excited about.
So how much improvement have you seen in Nate Hoff since the spring?
Yeah, Nate's just really solid, big, strong, and as we challenge him, he's got to be a guy that is perfect in his technique, and with his hand placement and his feet. And like I said, that's the big thing that Coach Hagan's really brought this year, is just the details. And he's relentless in his coaching. And I sit there in his meetings, I watch him, and when they drill work during special teams, I mean, it's awesome. It's what you have to coach that position, to play that position, and basically he holds them accountable for every little thing. And they're as a group they see the difference, and that increases the buy-in even more. So I'm really pleased with our D-line.
What does his strength do for him? Just he seems like
he's just very hard to root out. He's a big anchor in there, and he's so strong and thick, and not just upper body but lower body. It's hard to get any kind of push on him. So we're actually trying to get the push out of him. And if we can punch a hole in that front with him, it does a great job of making that ball cut back right to where we want to take it to. So he's a valuable part of our defense.
With the Husky position being the new position from this team this year, what are you looking from it initially on in the early season?
Be a guy that's a playmaker, and we want to get a guy that's going to be in space at times, pressuring at times, and be able to cover at times, so those are kind of things that it's a critical position for us, and it kind of, as that guy's skill set develops and the things that he can do, it defines what we can do as a scheme. And so, being able to have multiple guys there, it's a long season, it's going to be a physical season. So to me, that position right there really kind of will determine schematically how we look for the most part.
Tom, I'm way back here. I can barely see it. To play for you, what do you need from a player? What attributes do you want from a player, whether it's a recruit or a guy who's here now?
Yeah, first of all, for me, it's the ability to play for somebody other than yourself. I think that's a key component for me. And they say, how do you figure that out? Well, you got to get to know them, and you get to know the coaches, you get to know the people that know them when you recruit them. And when you get them here, I want unselfish guys that are willing to do whatever it takes to help us be successful. That's why we talk about, from the very beginning, it's about loving each other. Don't care who gets the credit. It's not about me. And we preached that from day one when we first got here. And I think that's the number one thing I'm looking for, because when you get that, you're going to have a chance to molding into a player that can fit in. Obviously, you have to have a base level of talent to play at this level. I get that. But to me, I put so much stock in that, because it determines how we get these. Because if you play really, really hard on defense and you're able to play with a physical component to you, you're going to have success on defense, And because I just think that it's not a complicated game. It's a game about tackling. It's a game about getting to the football, and it's a game about making plays in space. And for me, guys that care and guys that are unselfish, you can get them to do that. And right now, it's just step by step getting that buy-in from all of them, and that's the part that excites me, because I feel like that's really developing right now. And so, to me, that has to be the number one thing I'm looking for.
Is there a leader in the takeaway department so far through camp? Or?
I'd have to look at the numbers. I would say that Jonathan Crawford always seems to have his hand on the ball a lot. He's a guy that's big for us. I know Zeke's has a chance to make a lot of plays too in the takeaways, and I tell you, and another one that Sean Riggins is another corner. You talk about young guys. He's had several takeaways as well, and he's a freshman corner that's been a really, really pleasant surprise. You just never know how freshmen are going to react, and so he gets his hands on. Had a big pick in our last scrimmage, and that's what you want.
As the weather goes, how valuable is this time in the rain to get ready for bad weather games during the
I
year?
think that you'll go through our fall camps where you don't get hardly any rain, and yet there's going to be a game where it's going to happen, and so sometimes you have to almost create, put the ball in water and all that kind of stuff. But here we've had more than enough opportunities to experience the rain, and I feel like I'm in Florida. We're used to having these daily showers, but I think it's invaluable for both sides of the ball, because you can't simulate that. And so just like the heat, we've had a very hot and now rainy fall camp, which is perfect for where we're headed week 1. And so to me, that's been a huge blessing for us, because we need that. The offense needs it to take care of football and execute, and we need it to be able to understand how, with footing and foot placement and not being able to overextend ourselves, and realize the ball is going to be on the ground at times, and understand how to scoop up a fumble and take it back for a touchdown, and all those technical things that we think are matter. So I believe that being in it and experiencing it is going to help us.
Okay.